This podcast contains strong language and adult themes from the outset. Strap yourselves in, baby. Got myself some 100% vegan, gluten and dairy-free, 30% less sugar.
Is that because of this?
I saw it in the shop the other day. I got attracted by the colour. Caribou.
Oh, I've
Raspberry
seen that.
and honeycomb
I'm really
crunch.
struggling to remember the password. Hang on. I will remember it.
It's not bad actually, it's chocolate, guys. Alright, fake chocolate. I'm going to try a little bit. Did you just shush me?
There's something going on in that. I'm so distracted.
Do you know what that does?
Get ready.
Leave nothing out.
If you want help, hang up and then dial your operator.
Don't threaten me. You don't scare me.
Fun and excitement.
And when your head is down,
Leave nothing out. It's right. It's
Hang on,
chocolate, guys.
isn't it? Don't tell me. I know you told me earlier. I want to see.
Yeah, we're in. Can you hear us?
I get the record straight out, you know what I mean?
How's that sound?
Yeah, I can hear her. Don't get me wrong, but I can't really understand what she's saying.
And that's rich coming from you.
I know.
Oh my gosh, how can you not understand?
No. Now I can. Now I can understand. I did live over in Northern Ireland for 2 years. So I just switched my Northern Ireland. What's that thing on
Dialect.
Hitchhiker's
Sorry,
Guide to the Galaxy where they have the babel fish where they put it in their ear?
Oh, I don't know.
That's actually it's weird. That stuff.
It's all right though.
Is it coconut oil in it?
I don't know. We're just trying some. We're just trying some caribou, peach.
Right, well, do you know what? You two have missed out because I had actually made some cookies and I bet them.
What?
She's a good baker, man.
Oh, can you put them in the post?
I could go and collect some.
Well, I made some more, but I specifically kept you two.
Oh.
And I thought to myself, I thought, you know, I saw this, I'm eating them. Screw that, they've missed out.
Yeah.
All I've got is popcorn.
Peachy's a very good baker. Now this is
Right,
a
when you
carrot.
said about the popcorn the other night, are you talking like a puny little packet of popcorn or are you talking like family size? Because I was thinking if you felt full after a puny little packet of popcorn.
No.
what-
Janine's just seen. Janine has literally just seen my restocking, and it's like, what is it like?
Oh yeah, no, it's family size.
Like American family size.
I myself, was it just like a little packet or something? I was thinking.
No.
No.
You got much of a stomach, did you?
Oh, I fucking shoveled it in.
Yeah, man.
Oh, and it was like a white cheddar. It was just nice. Oh no, it was lime and sriracha, wasn't it? White cheddar the other night.
Oh, the other night, in the middle of the night,
Yeah.
I'm a secret popcorn eater.
I need to stop buying it. I'm just addicted to it.
Well, you need to stop doing that.
I just.
I'm eating popcorn in the night. Well, she's hungry. She's hungry. She'll go to bed hungry.
She's waving her finger at you.
No, I'm eating my casein protein pudding.
Well, that'll do it.
I
Anyway.
used to wake up in the middle of the night and have rice cakes and crap like that whenever I was trying to be good.
Oh,
when I was
yeah.
trying to diet. I mean, that doesn't work anymore, but you know what I mean? But yeah, I used to go to bed and I'll be like, freaking hell, I'm so hungry I can't actually sleep.
I've never got up in the middle of the night eating. It's just not something that I've ever done.
Well, I actually wasn't asleep. I was just still awake.
But even I've never done that.
Is it?
Well, maybe you're just too lazy to get out of bed.
Yes, that's
Get
it.
the
Yeah,
food
well,
first.
maybe I'm too lazy to get out of bed.
Get the food.
Oh, I was out for the count last night, man. Ooh, deep sleep last night.
I've been sleeping quite well this
Oh,
week. James is
for you.
awake.
I'm sorry. Peachy's got a new baby.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, fuck you too. Yeah. Right. Should we get on topic?
Yeah, so this is Leave Nothing Out. This is the vegan one.
Vegan one.
Everyone was getting confused
I
last
know.
week, going, "Oh, what? I don't understand about vegans." Or was it? I don't understand why.
Well,
did
no,
I talk
because
about
we started
vegans?
talking about it, but people assumed that we were going to start talking about being a vegan, but
No,
we
but
didn't
then
say
we
anything
did say
about it.
you said Peachy was going to come on.
I did. It was very clear in our instructions. Can you just pay attention, please, when you're listening?
I know.
Oh,
Right, so we've got Peachy, Because
You.
Peachy's a vegan. When did you become a vegan, Peach?
So about 4 years ago, and I was a vegetarian for about, well, I say vegetarian, I was kind of like a pescatarian, I like the odd fish and chips, but before that, I was a vegetarian for about 2 years before that. So all in all, vegan 4, veggie vegan 6.
Okay, why?
Well, like, it was back like when I was training and stuff, and I was like, the whole like bodybuilding thing where you get like 10 kilogram chicken, online, and you eat chicken for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and every meal in between. And like my whole life, I'd kind of been suffering. At night, I would have these like pains at night, and I thought it was just down to me having a bad stomach from when I was a baby.
Right.
But I thought to myself, do you know what? I'm gonna cut out meat for a bit and see if it helps. And like literally, as soon as I cut out meat, it freaking stopped. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I was just like,
I think that keep.
So it was me at the start. It was more so the feeling, the health, what it was actually doing to my body.
So for you, yeah, I think the key thing when we've talked about diet, and I've said that time and time again, is finding out, being in tune with your body, what works for your body, and then eliminating stuff that ultimately is obviously causing you problems. I don't want to live without meat, but I don't want to eat red meat. Red meat doesn't agree with me, and I made that personal choice back in my 20s anyway because of the mad cow disease and all that nonsense that was going on. I just didn't want to do it. So, but then I've kind of led towards not eating lamb. I don't eat lamb, don't eat pork. So white meat for me is I'm sufficient with that. And then I try to, again, I said that before, I try to make ethical choices, which is really tricky to do. It's really tricky to do with fish as well, because I like quite a lot of salmon. So you get a lot of the salmon in the supermarkets.
A lot of it's farmed, isn't it? It's really
farmed.
difficult to find the wild salmon.
But then the wild doesn't taste as good.
Because it's not as fatty.
Yeah, and if it's farm salmon as well, as you can actually, the people obviously buying and supplying the salmon can actually pick the colour of their salmon.
Yeah.
Because it depends on the feed that they're given as well.
Yeah.
And like, I understand where people come from. Oh, they're like, oh, well, I'll just eat fish, ethically sourced fish, sustainable fish. But like, so many things that lots of documentaries obviously that I've watched and things that I've read, like, we're just overfishing. It's basically, for me, a lot of people are just greedy.
Yeah.
Like, if you go to, like, restaurants and like, oh, finish like an £8 steak and you get it for free. I mean, that's just encouraging, like, you're just being a right pig. You're being, like, it's like too much. You don't need it.
No, I know. I totally agree with that. But don't you think that we're in a culture across Western civilization is a culture of overconsumption on everything?
Oh. Yeah, sure. Look at me and cake.
Stop it. Stop it. You just like your cookies.
No, totally. It's not like just eat what you need to survive. It's like you go out and you have to have extra large this and so on and so forth. It's just, you eat what you need to fuel your body.
Yeah. And
I can both understand, obviously, for people, like, veganism is not, it's not for everybody, but I think since looking into it, obviously, like I told you, so I cut out the meat, and then I would have just had, like, a lot of protein and stuff like that, and then I started getting, like, really mucousy and stuff, like, probably having too much dairy, and I never was a big cheese eater, so the whole cow cheese thing doesn't really, like, bother me. And I used to get, like, really mucousy, and I felt like I forever felt like I had a cold.
right.
So I cut out the dairy, and I'm telling you, again, it just went. And then I was thinking to myself, well, obviously my body doesn't agree with the meat and dairy. And I've said to my husband when I become vegetarian at the time, says I'm never going to become vegetarian. I was like, well, that's fair enough. You do that, whatever you want to do. And then literally it's been a couple of weeks because a couple of bars cooking 2 meats. Not that he cooks everything, but he then become vegan and he says, I'm not becoming a vegan. I said, that's fine. And I become one. He said, that's fine. And I said, that's fine. Well, I am. So you can either.
Yeah,
whatever.
you do you.
And then he was like, again, he couldn't be bothered. So he's just like, well, I'll I'm quite happy now. And he's actually more into kind of doing all the research and watching things and stuff more so than I was ethically wise.
Right.
He's very much more in tune with that. So. But now, again, I understand where you're coming from, Janine. You get your chicken and your turkey from like a butcher's, and it's like sourced from good farms, so on and so forth. Sorry, I'm going on a tangent here, but at the end of the day, I'm Irish. I talk a lot of nonsense, but that's the way it goes. Whatever feed you need to feed that chicken or that turkey or that duck or whatever, think about that feed and the water it takes to obviously grow that bird. And like, I'm not saying like these birds just appear. Obviously, they're put together to repopulate, so on and so forth. You know, if they were out in the wild, you know, you probably wouldn't have as many chickens and ducks and turkeys and so on and so forth. So obviously, they are bred to be eaten. But if you think about all that grain and all that water and everything else being actually used to feed more people, you'd probably actually feed more people with the grain and the feed and the water that you're actually giving these animals than it would actually be to, you know, a chicken to feed like a person or two people. You know what I mean? If you get where I'm coming from.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Perspective of things.
Because I got you to listen to that Word UK podcast, didn't I? And they're talking about you. It was a bit dry, but it was interesting.
It's a bit boring.
Because basically, so I've always eaten meat just because, you know, my parents brought me up eating meat. But I've recently, more from convenience, I've been eating a bit more corn, and I get more food for my buck, if you know what I mean. So I've been eating more like vegan, maybe probably more vegetarian. But on the thing that was talking about, you forget that the amount of pasture land that's used, not just for the animals, but then all the feed that's grown for the animals, and that's where like this deforestation. So you completely forget about all that until it's brought up to your attention, and that's made me a bit more aware. Not that I want to turn into a vegan, but it's made me more aware of maybe I don't need to eat as much meat as I was.
Well, there's other sources that you can put in your diet, so you're not having meat every single day of the week.
Also, I said to you the other week, I'm getting like dry skin patches. I was like, is that eczema? And then someone said, oh, why don't you try and cut dairy out? And I'm like, I don't know what I would eat if I cut dairy out, because I have my cottage cheese, as everyone found out.
What that has dairy in it? Like, tell me what you would eat that has dairy in it that you would miss so much.
Cottage cheese.
I have cottage cheese
Greek
every day. Greek yogurt.
Obviously, as someone who's an athlete, cottage cheese and stuff like that is a good go-to kind of snack, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
What
It's
else?
low calories, obviously, it's got your protein in it, so on and so forth. But I mean,
Greek
I have
yogurt.
I have that every day. Yeah. But I actually, like I said in the other podcast, I don't drink milk anymore because I have oat milk or almond milk, just because I like the taste of it.
Yeah.
Not because it's like, oh, I'll do that because I want to be vegan.
I drink goat's milk.
Oh, I like goat's milk, but is that still that's dairy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
I get confused.
It's got a different lactose content to it. I think it's better absorbed in your body than than cow's milk.
I do love a bit of cow's cheese. Cow's cheese. Goat cheese.
because obviously that part of me again.
What's,
Cow's cheese.
sorry, say that again, Peach.
I was going to say, you're pulling the face like, but it's like cheese is from milk, isn't it?
Yeah, no, but you don't want to know what was going on in my head when I was thinking about cow cheese.
Cow cheese.
What was going on in your head, Janine? You
I
haven't been backwards and coming forwards on the podcast so far.
I just went to Smegma.
I'm sorry, what?
That's where I went.
What's that?
Smegma?
I could give you lots of gory details, and you'd be pulling that face the whole time. But I'm sure you don't want me on here to preach statistics and pus and blood and all that crap. You know what I mean?
Right, do it, Peach.
What's smegma?
That's what boys get under their foreskin.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I did not know that.
No.
Did you not know that?
So
The dirty boys
I
get
don't know,
it.
everybody listening to this doesn't know obviously I'm a teacher, so I'm a teacher, yeah?
Yeah, go on.
And obviously, you know, I teach boys at a secondary school.
Yeah.
And I did a little bit of like catering teaching, you know, as you do.
Yeah.
And like we end up getting into conversation about cows and milk. And that's so funny. And they're like, they don't even know where milk comes from in the first place. And I said to them, you do realise that cows don't just have milk coming out of them? Oh, really? No, they don't. I said, they need to have had a baby, obviously a calf, and then that milk that is supposed to feed that calf to get to like 150 kilos or whatever stupid size that the cows end up being. I said, that milk is then used to obviously feed the baby calves. Yeah? And what happens is obviously we take the milk. So, and I said to them, and there is like, they get diseases, and obviously they need to be given antibiotics, and then a certain amount of that there ends up in obviously the milk as well. There's a certain amount of blood and pus that can obviously end up in the milk, and depending on what country you actually get milk from, depends on the percentage that they let into the milk before they actually have to get rid of it. So you can only have a certain amount of pus and blood in milk, and depending on whatever countries, for it to then be sold. And they all looked at me like, in shock. And I'm like, well, what do you expect? You know, that's where it comes from, and that's what happened.
Oh, because
said,
yeah, but it comes.
A dairy cow would only live like 7 years, where a normal cow would live, you know.
Yeah.
You could a cow could live 25 years.
But why would they know that it's from Sainsbury's local express?
Yeah,
I mean,
doesn't it just come in a plastic bottle?
yeah, yeah. I mean, this is right. So,
I thought it comes from a cow, like, considering I was brought up in the country, I know where freaking milk comes from. But you know what I mean?
yeah. Well,
They
so
don't
do I.
realise
But
that
they
the
not.
cow
Yeah,
needs
but
to have it.
but they don't know about that these days, do they? Because everything is so accessible. They don't have to think about where it's coming from because ultimately they just go to the corner shop and there it is on the
Well,
shelf.
they don't have to go to the corner shop, just get it off Amazon, don't they?
Yes.
And then therefore enter Peachy, and I tell them everything they need to know. And they're like, oh my God.
You terrify them.
They eat nothing that night, and then the parents say to me, what did you tell my child? I said, go to the tree.
You've got two little boys, and
Yes.
your little boy is really new. 10 weeks? 9
8
weeks.
weeks.
8 weeks, yeah, 8 weeks old. So are they both going to be vegans?
Well, they're going to be brought up, yes, plant-based, or like if you want to, yeah, called vegans, yes, so they're going to be brought up like that. But I'm not. The thing is like I'm a very strict vegan. All right, so I won't buy leather and stuff like that. I try and make sure everything. I don't have honey and all that gritty stuff. Like there's some. I think there are some like vegans out there, or people who call themselves plant-based, are a little bit more relaxed with the word. But I am, I try to be as much as and with my own knowledge, I try and make sure everything I have is vegan. Like, for example, I've got Birkenstock sandals. I don't get Birkenstock, I get vegetarian shoes, so I make sure they're not like leather, blah, blah. So the kids are going to be brought up that way, but obviously I can't tell them what to do when they're older. Like, what do you turn around and tell them? No, you're not allowed to eat meat. I'm going to educate them and tell them where it obviously comes from. It's up to them, obviously, in their decision what they want to do. I'm not going to ruin their life, but hopefully by the time it comes to them, getting to that age, they'll have the knowledge to make their own choices.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's fine. That's fair enough, though,
I'm not
isn't it?
going
Because you've got.
to say, no, you're not my kid anymore.
It's only like
You're not
bringing. It's only like bringing someone up a certain religion, isn't it? And then they're deciding later on in life.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
because I had to think about that. I thought, I wonder if she brings the kids up as vegan, and you'd have people go, well, children will need this and children will need that, but as long as they're getting like the sufficient vitamins and minerals that they need.
You get some kids that will only eat chips.
Like, all kids need the stuff. There's a kid that eats friggin' chicken nuggets and chips, and that's
Yeah,
their lifestyle.
exactly.
They still need to be supplemented as well. As a vegan child or as a non-vegan child, they still need to be getting vitamin D, because we don't exactly live in a very sunny,
No.
I suppose, climate as such, in England. Like, the vitamin B12 that obviously they would get from meat, to be honest, our farmland has been so churned up and been so, like, so much agricultural going through
Yeah,
that
of course.
the actually the microorganisms in the ground that actually has the B12 in it, because that's obviously where it comes from, the ground. It's becoming more sparse. So to be honest, you still should be supplementing yourself. Even you should still be supplementing B12 and things like that. The omega, like we give them an omega-3 supplement with DHA. But, that's only the 3 things that we supplement them with. And that comes from algae anyway. Obviously, the fish eat the algae, you get it from the fish. It comes secondary source, whereas we get it straight from the algae. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's all...
I think the beauty of, whether you agree with being a vegan or not, the beauty of your boys, right, is they are not going to be supplemented with the McDonald's lifestyle. Which I just, when I see, I'm going to be controversial, when you see parents, I have never had a McDonald's burger in my life. In my life. I've not eaten Kentucky Fried Chicken. I've not touched it because I think it's disgusting food. You can't.
No, I agree. It is disgusting. I've eaten it, but it is disgusting.
A McDonald's burger for £1. You think of the overconsumption of that, and
I
then
don't eat McDonald's anymore.
And then you see parents that are using it as a tool
to sort of, be good and I'll buy you a McDonald's.
Yeah.
What frustrates me is when you go down all the hills and there's a fucking queue for the drive-through, and you're just like, ugh. And it's a lovely sunny day.
You see that in town.
But it's even that there's a queue for the drive-through and they can't bother to park the car and walk in. That really gets my goat as well. I don't know why. But
So that's, I mean, the beauty of that is that your boys will never. I mean, they might do sneaky trips. Don't let mum know. Like, right? Oh no, we might.
I recommend meat-free sausage every now and again. But like I try not to like. I know obviously Janine, you touched on it with Callie the last time about like obviously all these like junk food vegans getting all these kind of like
Oh, that's what Callie said.
And so on and so
Yeah.
forth. Like I know obviously again I'm just going off on my own tangent sort of thing. Like we have a lot of like tofu and things, but our main sources of protein come from beans, lentils, legumes, and things like that. But every now and again you want a dirty burger, so. Like, I would go to Aldi and they do a really good, like, meat-free burger and, like, yes, obviously it's probably full of whatever sort of nonsense, but every now and again, little and, it's just something that, and, like, it's a thing, I know that meat tastes good. I know chicken tastes good, especially butterflies, a little bit of salt and pepper on a grill.
Yeah, but it's not good for your body. It don't suit you.
I understand this, but, like, I still, now I'm just thinking, like, I don't need to eat animals in order to get satisfaction.
Yeah, for you.
Become a better like chef, suppose whatever, not chef, cook, whatever. Good at making stuff.
Yeah.
Becoming vegan.
Yeah, because you've got to make your food interesting. You've got to think outside the box, haven't you?
Yeah, it's more than just fruit and vegetables, Janine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't live on fruit and vegetables.
What I was going to ask is, so you've already talked about supplementing.
Yeah.
When you were training, did you find it difficult to kind of make sure you found appropriate supplementation? So you weren't like going over your macros, or did that not really bother you? Just because some people have asked me that.
To be honest, I mean, sorry, Callie, because obviously I don't know you that well, but Janine knows me obviously from the gym and stuff. Like I'm not saying I'm definitely no Janine the machine. Like she's just like a different breed, but
I don't know what you mean.
I just like I never really counted macros really, to be honest, all that much. Like obviously my diet's probably quite carb heavy,
Yeah.
obviously fruits, vegetables, whatever. But like I've always felt like I did a lot of like I used to cycle to and from work and then I would train and so on and so forth. Like there was going to be times where you're tired because you're just training loads and everything else. But to be honest, I have felt a lot better eating my diet the way I do now than I have ever done before.
Yeah.
And even though obviously, like I say, I'm not as strong as Janine, for a little Irish person, I'm not too bad. And
Peachy's pretty strong. She's underselling herself a little bit.
Yeah, I think I saw what you in Strength in Depth a couple of years ago.
Yeah, let me tell you something about Peachy, right? The girl can run.
Oh, bigger up.
Okay? The girl can run and she can lift. Okay? You're selling yourself down, Peachy. I have lunged her over 10 metres, actually 20 metres on my shoulders. That was pretty horrendous.
Who would want to be launching me over that?
That was pretty horrendous. It was so horrendous.
Where was that?
Strength in Depth. It was you had a buy-in of 30 thrusters with 30 kilos. I said to Peach, right, I can't do like the thrusters and then lunge you because there's no way she's lunging me.
Was this the final?
No, this was like the first workout.
What year was this?
2018.
Oh, I want that.
So she's done most of the thrusters. I've done 5 out of the 30. Then I've chucked her on my shoulders. I've done the first lunge. I'm going, oh, like what? You're 67 kilos. You've got to be 67.
At that time, yeah, it's probably around that. Yeah.
Like 67 kilos. So you go from doing like nothing to putting 67 kilos of a human being on your shoulders and having to lunge her and knee all the way to the floor. So they don't let you just go to parallel. Knee all the way to the floor for 10 metres.
Cool.
I can remember Barney behind me shouting, "Bigger lunge!" I was like, "Fuck you." Fucking hell.
I'm just going to get through this.
And then on the other side, so I lunged her for 10 metres, and then we had to do 30 synchronised pull-ups. I was rubbish at them then as well. Oh, and then I had to lunge her back. I went, and then you had to do a cash out of the thrusters. I said, I'm out. So Leah was shouting at her, "You'll have to do it, I'm broken." She just picked up the bar. So let me tell you something about Peachy. Peachy's a good athlete, and what she's got is she's got mental toughness. Okay? Yeah. So don't you undersell yourself. All right, you're a good athlete, Peachy. The thing is, I think what's really important, and this is what Peachy's learned, is that she's listened to her body, right, and she's figured out what works for her. Like I can't. I could be a vegetarian.
Yeah.
I could be a vegetarian, but I don't want to live without meat. For me,
I might try and be a vegetarian for a month and just see what happens.
okay.
Just, well, then is it the dairy that's causing this issue?
Well, stop doing the dairy.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that.
Just find another alternative.
I like the idea of being a vegan because you always feel quite sort of sprightly after you've had loads of fruits and veg and like all that kind of stuff, don't you?
Yeah.
I can't be bothered.
Obviously I'm totally pro-vegan, obviously, but I'm not like, I'm not going to sit near you or speak to you because you eat meat. I'm not going to be like that. I would rather people eat less and like Janine does, have smarter choices and sort of stuff of where they get their meat from, and just eat it a bit less. If that's all you're going to do, then do you know what I mean? You're trying, that's you trying, at least try, rather than just say, excuse my French, fuck these asshole vegans because they're just a pain in the ass. Do you know what I mean? They're doing what they want to do. We're just trying to obviously, again,
I think, do you know what I think?
Keeping my children behind, what planet is going to be left. Because, like, for example, you were saying there about the rainforest. 91% of the cleared rainforest is actually been put aside for animal feed and, like you say, animal grazing. So it's either growing for animals or animals feed off it, and that's 91% of the cleared rainforest. That's what that's used for. Do you know what I mean? That could be used for something so much more.
I know, but do you know what? Yeah, but
on that podcast, they do say expansion of pasture for beef alone drives 41% of the annual tropical deforestation.
Okay, so but it's easy for us to sit here in our nice little country where we've got everything accessible to us, and we were talking about a country, South America, where poverty, we've got no idea what it's like to live in the favelas. We've got no idea what it's like to live out there for those people that have less opportunity. I'm not saying that it's right, and I say that things have to change. The overconsumption of our world needs to change, and we have to make conscious choices of that. I think when it comes back to being a vegan, and I think that most vegans are very passionate about choosing that lifestyle, and I think that that's great, but I think you have to take into context why people choose to live a certain way, why they have their choices. I choose to have dairy in my diet because I need that dairy in order to keep my shingles at bay. Okay, so I touched on that. Okay, I can't. The soya, it's a precursor to kicking up the shingles, and let me tell you something. If you've not had shingles, it is excruciatingly painful. Right, and I can do without having that every month of the year. Okay, so I do make that conscious decision to have that in my diet, and I'm happy for anybody to live the way that they want to live. Okay, without being the vegan choice, which is great, it becomes a little bit preachy, and people don't want to get preached at. I think that that's where people will ultimately end up getting their hackles up with it. You know.
But I like the way Peachy's come about. She's spoke to us about it, like she did it because of this reason, that reason. And it's only really because she decided to do it that way that she then, well, it was her husband, wasn't it, doing a bit more of the research. Yeah. And it is interesting when you start looking into it, and it'll help. Like, for example, I don't eat a lot of red meat, but I do eat red meat. But I probably prefer to maybe every so often have a really good steak rather than having like a burger here and there. Do you know what I mean? So maybe that's just helped me with my choices a bit more.
So when I was at university, we were looking at the rise in obesity, right? And in America, I mean, this was 2012 when we were doing this study. So it since the 80s, obesity's gone up 400%. Okay, those were the numbers then. Okay, so they were looking at factors as to why that was happening in the 400% mark of obesity. So you've got to factor in the fast food industry is astronomical. So when you think of the overproduction of meat within McDonald's, I mean, you could go to some island in some far-reaching, I don't know.
Yeah, and they're breeding cattle for McDonald's.
Well, they're not only they're breeding cattle for McDonald's, but you will find a McDonald's in every single part of the world. So yeah, when you think about the fast food chains and McDonald's in particular, you know, they are everywhere, and the millions and millions of pounds that they make. I wonder what these companies, these big companies, these multi-billion companies, because they're not just making millions, are they? What are they putting back? Me and you, we're small fry in making those conscious decisions to be better.
I don't know. We've had over 200 downloads.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
But
No,
do you
but I
know
know
what I
what you
mean?
mean, yeah.
What are
And
they
then-
doing?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't. Yes, it starts with us, and it starts with Peachy. She's made that decision to become a vegan and be and
But then you
be
can
better
also
for
say
herself.
it takes, an ant can take down the government, so it takes the people to make the decision.
Yeah.
And then we don't buy from those companies, and those companies then need to change
Yeah, but
the way.
it's greed. It's greed. It's like
I
people
know.
only. It's greedy. You know, they need to have more. They need this on that. Everybody wants more of this. Everyone wants more of that. You know, but like if everyone kind of just took a step back and thought themselves, right, do I need this? Do I need that? You know, it's like living within your means, and it's all like, you know, if you think about, like, say, for example, from the 1920s to like now 2020, how much we've progressed
Of course.
in that amount. Even people, the amount of people that are now on this earth, for example, you know, everything's progressed so much, but everybody wants more and everybody wants it faster. I mean, can you not just chill out a bit, man, and then
I know.
just think about what you're actually doing, the choice, like you said, Jenny, the choices that you make, you know? And like, I'm not, like I say, I'm trying not to be a preachy vegan.
I don't mean you.
It would be
but-
pretty good if people ate a little bit less meat and
Yeah, of
thought a
course.
little bit more about what they're putting on their plate.
But you understand what I don't mean that about you. But do you understand what I mean by that?
Oh, no, I know. And I'm sure you'd tell me anyway.
Goddamn right.
You know, yeah, I would. It's a bit right. It's a bit like when I'm going to go there. But people start talking about religion. I'm an atheist. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. But they look at me because they're a Christian or.
And they feel like you're missing out.
Yeah. And I'm happy for you to believe in whatever you want to believe in. I'll support you in whatever you want to do. But you have to be happy for me in my choices, you know, because I am making conscious choices. I drive around in a little shitty smart car and I don't live out of my means, you know. I make do with what I make do with at home. I try to cook every night for myself. I'm not doing takeaways and being lazy as far as that's concerned. I think people have lost the idea of cooking for themselves. And people often say to me as well about living on their own, oh, it's boring. I cook for myself all the time because I actually like sitting down to a nutritious bowl of food.
But I don't understand why people go, oh, I don't like cooking for myself. Well, just cook more and then have the rest the next day.
Yeah, batch
That's what
cook. I do that all the
Yeah,
time.
when James is away, I do it all the time.
Go on, Peach,
But
sorry.
like, someone like you, Janine, as well, is completely different as well because, like, you always strive to be the best that you can be. You know, you always want to do more. You always want to, like, push yourself. But the thing is when you push yourself, for example, you've written your book, you've written your second book. Like, whenever you become into your riches, because I know it's going to happen, because people need to, like I say, read this book.
Please read my book.
But you're not going to think selfishly about yourself. You know what I mean? You've got your brother as well, you know, and if it means then the both of you can be more comfortable. But again, you're not greedy. You obviously, you've got a story you want to tell, something you want to get out there, but you're not someone who's like, oh, I need more.
No, but you know, let's say I do make that money. Let's say it happens for me, and I've just told my story. Whatever the story is, and whatever it does, I've done it now. It's out there, right? But I already know that should I make my money, I want to put that back in for people and kids that need an education, that don't have that money to get an education. I'd like to do that. Still be able to look after me and Lee.
People were like that.
I know, but they're not though, are they? Everybody, there's a lot of people that are short-sighted.
Yeah, I don't know.
They are short-sighted, but we live in an overconsumption society, don't we? Nobody fixes anything anymore. Anything you buy, you think about when we were growing up. I was talking to somebody yesterday, actually, and we were talking about 50p meters. Did you have a 50p meter when you were a kid?
You put it in for lights and stuff?
Yeah, electricity. You had a 50p meter. If you didn't have 50p, you had no electricity. You were done for.
We had that.
Yeah. I remember sitting by candlelight. This is in the 70s. If you didn't have 50p, that's it. You were done for. Living at my nan, she didn't even have central heating. That was the 90s. The only way you could get hot water if you put the coal fire on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But she just made do.
Yeah.
And did it bother me as a kid? No, it didn't.
Well, no, because you didn't know any different, did you?
No. I put, if it was cold, you put something more on.
But that's the thing with the energy crisis at the minute, where people, like kids, won't understand where the parents are saying, "Oh, you got to do this, you got to do that.
Yeah.
If you're cold, put a jumper on." I remember growing up, we didn't have central heating, we had like a fire.
Yeah.
And then we had the gas killer fires or whatever. Kids these days will just bump the heating at work. They won't think twice about it.
Well, I think we've got used to having the central heating, haven't we? That's what we've got used to, the radiators and everything else. But yeah, I mean, you didn't have that. You had a coal fire in your living room. That was it.
Yeah.
And in my nan's, in the summertime, to have a bath, you used to have to fill up the kettle and run up and down the stairs with a kettle of water.
Oh, no, you had to put the boiler, you had to put the immersion heater on and wait a couple of hours.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, right.
I remember going, I was going to put the immersion on.
Oh, when do you want a bath? Oh, about 4 hours.
Otherwise, it was a stand-up wash.
Yeah. A hall wash.
No, you can actually wash yourself quite well in a basin of water.
Yeah, you
don't know
can.
for about it.
I've done that. A few times when I've had my surgeries on my knee, because you can't shower. So I've got to wait for so I've just washed in the sink.
Well,
just get on with it, don't you?
Yeah.
Something terrible about it. Anyway, we have gone completely off topic, like we always do.
It's still about sustainability.
Yeah, it is about sustainability.
So you mentioned about you don't wear leather shoes. Do you, with regards to all your clothes, do you make sure they're like ethically sourced?
Right. That's the thing. So I'm not made of money either. So that's another thing. So I try and I'm not saying I'm not made of money. What I'm saying is a lot of it ethically sourced. Like for example, if I try and get something online or whatever, everything's online nowadays. But if I go and look for something up there, I try my best to get ethically sourced material, etc. It's super expensive, and the reason it's super expensive is because obviously there's a lot more care and attention that's going into it. But what I actually try and do is I try and get things from charity shops, and second hand and free cycle and stuff like that. I'm going to sound proper cheap here, but I
think that's a
great idea.
Boy, and I needed nursing tops, but I've got all of my tops I've got from it's like a free cycle group on Facebook, so I've done it that way. I try not to buy to be honest, I'd rather not go to places like Primark and stuff, but as much as obviously it's affordable stuff for people, but I try not to actually shop there. But a lot of my little boys' clothes again are all hand-me-downs from his cousins and friends and things like that. Like I said, it sounds cheap, and but
it's not about you're not sounding cheap.
They'll wear it for goodness sake, and they can wear it again. They're only going to bloody puke all over
Exactly.
it.
Yeah, I think that's great.
So like say charity shops, second-hand stuff. That's what I try and do anyway.
I think that's a great idea though, because there's too many people who will go out and buy, someone gets a newborn baby, so they buy them something new. When there's someone in the for example, in our gym, people have gone, "Oh, I've got all this stuff. Do you want it?" And they just kind of hand it around because, like you said, they'll only have it for a couple of weeks, months, whatever.
Exactly. It's a lot of money wasted as well, know. So
Peachy's. Are you still using your you don't use the nappies either, do you?
No, we've got reusable. So
yeah.
Yeah, one of my friends does that. And don't the council give you some sort of I think the council give you some money for it.
Yeah, if you buy over £45 worth of nappies and stuff, they give you £30 back, but that's only per child. So that'll only happen. And again, it might sound a bit people might think it's gross. It's not gross because obviously you boil wash these nappies in 60 degrees. But again, I got quite a few of mine second hand where some of them have bought them and then they just don't get on with them, or they're just look, I can't be arsed with the washing. So they're they just sell it. So I got a lot of my older boy, a lot of his nappies I got again second hand from other people and stuff.
I think my mum.
And again, say wash bloody stuff.
That's right.
My mum probably.
My mum used. Yeah, my mum had reusable nappies.
Well, because when did reusable nappies even come in?
Like the nappies you throw away.
Yeah, not reusable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Disposable.
I think around the 60s or something.
Because I don't think my mum could afford disposable.
No.
I remember my mum and dad saying to me the other day, Oh, we had they had a Mini when we were younger, and they had £5 a week in petrol, and when that ran out, it ran out. Because I think I was joking, going, why did you always used to make us walk to town? Because we always wanted to go on the bus, because kids want to go on the bus. And my mum would be like, no, we're not going on the bus. And I thought it's because she was being a snob, and it's because she couldn't afford it. No. So we'd walk to town and walk back. And you got kids these days who get dropped off around the corner to school. What?
I know. Walk.
And do exactly as you have been told.
Get on the bus. My mum had this on.
Again, you could have a whole other podcast on this, but that's not really what your whole podcast is about. It's about health and fitness. But like, again,
it's about everything, Peach.
We leave nothing else.
Proper brittle, but they do not know what they've got.
They're all snowflakes because we've done so much trying to protect them. Against what?
They don't have to let them. Sorry, Janine.
It's all right.
Go ahead.
No, go on.
I was saying that they don't have the patience to let them do stuff, so I'm like, right, go upstairs and clean the room. And then the mum is like, 5 minutes later, they're not cleaning the room. She's like, oh, for heaven's sake, she can't bother waiting for you to do it, and then they'll do it. Let them freaking do it. Let them just do it themselves. Because the thing is, if they get everything done for them, because they're like, oh, I can't tie my shoe, this shit. Well, then they're like, oh, do you know what, I'll just tie it for you, whatever. When you're just like, you need to keep at these kids and teach them to do stuff for themselves, because otherwise...
Or do what I used to do.
Everything happens for them.
Yeah. We used to, so my mum used to go out on Saturday mornings and leave us to our own devices. Clean your rooms before I get back to get your pocket money. We'd go, yeah, we're watching the TV, I'm not listening to her. So I see her pull up. It's been about 3 or 4 hours. I see her pull up outside. Shit, I've not done my room. We used to run upstairs, right? And I used to get all the shit on the floor and just chuck it underneath my duvet, put the duvet on the bed, iron it out, and then I'd come back downstairs and I could get that done in the time it took her to get out of the car and get through the front door. And she'd go, have you done your room? And I'd go, yes. And she'd go upstairs and she'd look in the room and she'd go, okay, here's your, it was 50p. Do you know what I mean? Here's your 50p. Me and my brother used to sprint right to the shop. I'll have a quarter of sherbet tip and I'll have a quarter, because you could get like 3/4 of fucking bonbons and all sorts, right? And then we just used to shovel like this chicken down. But then I'd go to bed at night and I'd pull the duvet back and then throw everything back on the floor again. That's what I would do.
Well, technically you did clean your room because you put all that crap on your duvet. It's still cleaning the room.
Or shove it in the wardrobe and shut the door as quickly as possible. Until you open it again.
Actually, you wrote that in your book as well, didn't you?
I did.
I like the bit in your book where your brother paints. Where your brother paints his room, but just goes around things.
Right. So
I was fucking screaming.
So let's tell the whole story of that. So we moved into a new house. My mum was like, right, you can decorate your own rooms. Okay. So I was meticulous in my room. I was like, I want everything to be just right, which is it's like me and Lee all over. So I've wallpapered the walls. I've decided I want it baby blue. I've painted all the walls. I look back. It's an amazing job. Mum's gone to Lee. Have you done your room? Yep, I'm going out. Right, he's gone out. So we go into his room. He's literally painted around the curtains, around the bed frame. He's decided he's going to paint the wardrobe door because I suppose he's having a bit of creative, whatever that is. Painted the wardrobe door and he's gone out. So yeah, that was his input.
I actually laughed out loud when I read that.
Yeah, he was not. He used to go to bed with his school uniform on, so we didn't have to put it on in the morning.
Oh my gosh, that's just him all over.
On that note,
I think that veganism done.
I think we're good.
Yeah, that was really good.
Do you want to put anything else in, Peach?
No, you're grand. I mean, it'd be great if anyone actually has any questions or anything obviously on it, we could always come back and talk some more nonsense.
Well, we could. Yeah. I mean, people do, funny enough, we are getting quite a bit of feedback every time we put the podcasts out. So people have quite often got questions to ask. So we might actually get some questions asked, so we can always come back to it. Yeah, let's see where we go with it, what kind of feedback we get from this.
Yeah, so you can now find us on Instagram at Leave Nothing Out. You can follow me at California. You can follow Janine
Gribbett.
Is it Gribbett?
Gribbett 2021.
Our email address is leavenouthingout, so nothing without the G because I'm northern, at gmail.com. And what we'll do is we'll put all the links into the show notes because I figured out how to wag that out now.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that's it, isn't it?
That is it.
Well, thank you very much for coming on, Peachy.
Yeah, thanks,
That was very
Peach.
informative.
No worries.
Yeah.
You watch this space. Callie might even be a vegetarian for a month and just see what happens.
Oh, well, good luck with that.
That'll save a trip to Vine's farm. Oh, I can go buy some veg from there.
You can go buy some veg from there.
Start my little veg patch outside.
Oh,
in
good
the
luck with
garden.
that as well. Oh, I tried that. It's just too much work, isn't it? You got a full-time job.
You have to know when to plant stuff, don't you? You need to know when to do what, when.
Oh, my mate, one of my clients yesterday, bless her, Faye, big up Faye. She said to me, "Do you want some tomato plants?" No. Oh.
I tell you what, if any of my clients want to drop off veg, because sometimes they grow it and they grow too much.
Oh yeah.
So feel free to drop that off.
Yeah, I'm up for free veg.
Yeah.
Always.
Anything free.
Right, let's sign off. Okay. Bye, Peach.
Thanks very much.
Bye.
So the next episode is on body image.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, episode 4.
Strap yourself in, people. That's all I'm going to say. It's serious, but it's very funny.
Yeah. So we'll wrap this up. Again, Instagram's on Instagram, Twitter, email, leavenothingout@gmail.com. Email us your questions. Or even just email and say you like it. Or email say you don't like it. Whatever. Just email us.
Email.
Okay.
Or Instagram.
Or Twitter. Please contact us. But yeah.
No, but people are contacting us. It's just that they're not doing it via the platforms that we want them to.
Yeah, and then we forget. Come on.
Okay.
Busy ladies.
Just do it.
All right then.
All
Right.
Bye.
Bye then.
Don't threaten me. You don't scare me.
Fun and excitement.
And when you're headed down,
Leave nothing out.